strange sound from your car again? There is a way to solve this issue. But when you need a smarter solution, buy from OVOKO. Choose from millions of used car parts, save your money and fix your car the smart way.
Geras metas iššokti į naujus batus. Pasimatuok geriausius pasiūlymus namams. TOPO Centras.
Welcome to Dream to Drive 2026, and it's the Dream to Drive esports final here from the Palanga circuit, where the winners of the event will head to in a real Porsche Cup car with Team Dream to Drive, and that's exactly what they're driving here. You can see the visuals of the track, 2.682 kilometers around here. The drivers already had a weekend of driving a real car on track, one of the BMW Cup cars that Dream to Drive operates at the Porsche Ring in Estonia. They had fitness tests, they had a karting test as well, and this is your grand final here from Palanga, and this again is where those drivers will do their race. And this is the qualifying session. It's a short one, just a couple of laps, but it's a very, very short track as well, as Jõffert into P3. Schöniger leads the way for the time being. And I'm joined, as always, by Lorinas.
Hi, Gustas, and hello, everyone. Welcome to this final of the finals, you could call it that way. Thousands of participants entered this championship, and only one driver will stand still after we will complete these two virtual races. We need to finish off with the qualifying session to start the races. The second race will have all drivers starting in a reversed order, and I only see 5 drivers here. I don't see Tadas Juknevičius. What's happening here? Wow, so Tadas is not participating. The driver who was and who is currently second after the real tests in the finals, in the real part of the finals, is not here. I'm speechless. As Schöniger sets another fastest lap time of the qualifying session, 1 minute 4 seconds and 9 tenths. Luke Whitehead 8 tenths behind in the practice session before this qualifying started. I've seen drivers being very close and tight to each other, mostly hitting the low 1.5s, and this time looks the drivers are a little bit more concerned or worried, and they are unable to extract the pace on this difficult track in Lithuania on the streets of Palanga. It's a very tight circuit, and small mistakes can cost you a fortune. You don't want to outbrake yourself, and that's why the drivers maybe are trying to be a little bit more careful. And they are not hitting a great lap times. Luke Whitehead will definitely go faster when he will cross that line. I'm pretty sure about that, but which place he will go? It's only 1.5.3. Jõffert even slower. Eičinas
Page up to second spot, and he's still 2 tenths back. This is going to be the final opportunity, so everybody who crosses the line will be completing their final attempt in this qualifying session. It's not an easy circuit to make an overtake, so your qualifying position will be crucial, as Schöniger fastest in sector 1. See what he can do throughout the rest of the lap. Here he is, and on provisional pole position. A little bit of damage at the front of the car, so a few of the curbs have been hit, but Pejic fastest in sector 1 now. Eičinas up to P4, pushes out the leader coming into this one. Silver Jõffert in. Oh, and a big jump by Schöniger and a hit on the wall on the exit, and that's not going to be an improvement. So let's see what Pejic can do. Drivers crossing the line, another hit into the wall by somebody, and Pejic is the last car to cross the line. He does go pole. Yes, he does, by half a tenth. And Wow, Marko Pejic to the front. He's 11 points back coming into this one. 50 will go to the winner and 30 for second place. So he'd need to push. Well, actually, he's tied with. Is Page tied? No, Page is 11 back from Schöniger. And again, the leader coming into this one is Silver Jõffert, but he's only 4th in this qualifying session, 105.759.
This was a nice qualifying session, but what could one expect from a session where we have, well, sadly only 5 fastest drivers from the bunch of participants that came into this event. I'm pretty sure the races will be very exciting, as we will have 5 cars starting on the grid. As Gustas mentioned, it's gonna be really difficult hand side of the racetrack.
Yep. Yes, drivers left. And Luke Whitehead still in 3rd, so he's got an opportunity there. That top 3 group of cars, they were super close in qualifying. 4th and 5th were further back. And let's see what happens now. It's race 1 of the finals of Dream to Drive Esports 2026. And we're green, and it's a slow start, a very slow start from Pages. Now Schöniger up into the lead. Whitehead goes to the inside. Jõffert gets all of them, and he's going to be up into 2nd. And if he can hold it into the chicane, he does. Silver Jõffert up into 2nd. And
that's
flip
Page.
and out. Yep, and that is going to be race over. Marko Pejic out of that one. So it's Schöniger, Jõffert, Eičinas, Whitehead down to, well, 4th. Showing his 5th now because Page is in the pit lane. And Page will be on pole for the next race, that's for sure. Because, well, something can still happen, of course. But, yeah, pretty sure he's going to be on pole for race 2. Here we go into one of the hairpins. This track is pretty much chicane, hairpin, chicane, hairpin. And Schöniger, well, he is now favorite to win this race for sure. Considering his qualifying performance over the 2 following him, because it's Jõffert and Eičinas 4th and 5th in the qualifying session.
Whitehead also down into P4. He had the pace in the practice sessions. Also in the qualifying session, he will be trying to overtake Eičinas and Jõffert up in front, but that's going to be a very difficult task. We can see Page is back on the racetrack going over the bridge. He's not too far behind. Is it only? No, that's not correct. It shows he's only 1 second behind it. That's
about,
yeah, 30
or 30 seconds. So he'd need somebody else to have a big crash, but on the other hand, he would be on pole position for the next one. So it's not over just yet, but he needs some luck for sure. And well, the one driver who's really having a good one here is Jõffert, 4th in qualifying. He comes in leading with 76 points into this final part of the event. He was fastest in the race car. That's why he's got such a huge haul of points. The driver in 2nd in points, Tadas Juknevičius, who's not here today, he had 50 points in the karting challenge. Jump over the curves from Luke Whitehead, and it's fastest lap of the race from Dennis Schöniger.
A calm race now took place. 3 cars follow each other quite closely. Jõffert now in P2. He knows that he has great chances here. P2 is not enough. There's a 20 points difference between 1st and the 2nd place. Jõffert came into this final virtual race as the leader of the finalists. He is, or well, maybe he was 9 points in the lead against Juknevičius and 10 points in the lead against Jõffert. If the drivers finish in this order after the first race, we will have Schöniger in the overall lead against Jõffert. Whitehead just hit the wall.
Yep, and he's not even able to follow these two up in front of him. That's very interesting. I mean, he was definitely quicker than them in the qualifying session, but not able to follow as closely as I think he'd want. Last driver in terms of the points on 43 is Dominykas Eičinas. And he's sitting third in this race right now. He was last in qualifying, but obviously pole position went to dead last after a flip in that first chicane. Here's the view from the back of Jõffert's car. He's 2 seconds from the lead.
Eičinas looking pretty strong here, putting pressure on Jõffert, and that's only thing that he can do now. An overtake is really difficult as Schöniger sets another fastest lap time, being out in front. He's already 2.2 seconds ahead. But Eičinas should now focus on just keeping his front of the car quite close to the back end of Jõffert, and maybe he should try force him into a mistake. You can see that this track is so tight on the exit. You can hit the barriers. It's not a big deal. But these chicanes, they have these really tight tires. We've seen at the beginning of the race, Pejic had hit one and he flipped over and flew out of the racetrack. So anything can happen here in these remaining 15 minutes. And that's why Pejic is still on the racetrack, setting fastest lap time now of the race, 3/10 faster as the pace of Schöniger. He will have no chance to gain on the cars ahead unless they go into some sort of a trouble, as Whitehead gets a little bit closer back to Eičinas and Jõffert. Schöniger sets the fastest lap time now, 1:05.5. It's a really similar lap time what Pejic has set. Whitehead already looking into the inside of Eičinas, and that's really difficult and dangerous to do. I can't think of
Eičinas the wall.
Yeah, I cannot think of a place here of a clean overtake when you are driving in identical cars and having similar pace. Look, Pejic now sets the fastest lap time, but it's basically the same lap time as Schöniger is.
Really the only opportunity where you can try and outbrake someone. The straights, while pretty much all of the track is straight, the straights aren't long enough to have a real effect with the slipstream, so you can't really make a move down into that first chicane. So it will all be about him trying to make a move into that hairpin. Let's see if he can try and do something here, but not this lap. But look at how close he gets. So I think he'll have to think about it. He has Jõffert in front, then 1.5. He might still be able to recover up into second. That would be the target for Luke here. And if he can make some moves, that is very, very good practice for the next race where the field gets flipped.
Yep, and I think Pejic should figure out the starting procedure. Remember, he also started from pole in this race and he went nowhere. I'm not sure. Maybe he chose a different technique to start the car, or some sort of issues kicked in for Pejic because he moved very slowly from his starting position. So the start itself is very important. Identical cars, you just need to get going, but it didn't go as planned for Pejic. And even though he will start the second race from pole position, if nothing changes here, that doesn't guarantee him that he'll lead into turn 1 again.
Yep, it certainly doesn't. The fast starting Jõffert, who went from 4th to 2nd, he actually did that even before the flip of Pejic. He got it done all the way down into the first chicane. He was already in front, so don't count him out on having another good start. The problem is they won't really have any opportunity to try a start again. Pejic might, though. I mean, he's running at the back of the field anyway. He might try and think of... Oh, and here comes Whitehead. He'll try and do it into the first chicane. He's coming in side by side and actually gets through, so Eičinas couldn't really do much about that. And just didn't have the exit there.
It was a nice move, and I love how Eičinas acknowledged that Whitehead already has the inside line. He could have tried and block him, but he chose the safe path, and that allowed Whitehead through. I don't think everyone will be as gentleman as Eičinas. We still have 10 minutes, and I'm pretty sure Whitehead will have the chance to try and attack Jõffert, but that's not gonna be so easy if he'll get the same part of the track before the chicanes. You really need a cooperative driver to complete such a move on this circuit. And I'm already excited of what Jõffert can do. He's already almost 7 seconds behind Schöniger. That's how much the pace difference is between these drivers. But Jõffert holds on to the second place. He's currently leading the overall standings, and he will have no interest in letting Whitehead through. That's 10 points difference between P2 and P3. As Page sets the fastest lap time, as Gustas mentioned, that's a good practice session for him before race 2, but we should calculate the points. I think Page has no chances already to battle for the win of the championship. I think so. He will need Schöniger to collect the least amount of points in race 2, but even that doesn't help. Page is currently 11 points behind Schöniger, so we need to take our calculators out. But if my math is correct, I think Page has no chance here anymore to win the overall. Well,
oh, but here comes Whitehead. It's a defense from Jõffert, and they're going to go in side by side. I thought they might, but Whitehead has seen what happened to Page and decided that maybe it's better to go in behind. He still has 8 minutes to complete the move. Another fastest lap of the race by Marko, but that is just showing off his pace. And Dennis Schöniger leads this one 8.8 seconds in front of this pack. As wide that was from Jõffert into that chicane, he's going to try and back this whole pack up. This might give an opportunity to Eičinas if these two come together as well. But let's see how well Jõffert can defend. It's probably the easiest track to defend your position on. It's similar to a Monaco in F1 where you pretty much, if you ride around in the middle of the track, there's not much any other driver can do.
And it's also the easiest to make a small mistake, which costs you a lot. And I think Page now has high hopes for this battle to evolve a little bit further. Look, Eičinas clipping that curb and sending the car flying. The thing that Page can do now is just hope for the drivers to get in some sort of a drama here on the streets of Palanga. This is his only hope, I believe, to finish a little bit higher in this race and maybe extract a little bit more out of the points. He's now looking at 10 points in total. Schöniger is looking in at 50 points. Whitehead calms down a little bit. Still a lot of time on the table. These laps are very short, just 2.7 kilometers long. 1 minute and 4, 1 minute and 5 of the laps.
Yep, it's a lot of laps that they complete around here. Here comes Whitehead once again. It's a defense from Jõffert. And Whitehead, will he try to stay on the outside again? Backs out of it. He's going to have to think of doing something into the hairpin because there's not much you can do. You can't go around the outside into that chicane. It's Page tried. It ended up with him on his roof. So I don't think Whitehead's going to want to do that. He's still in a good position here. Still running in the third. If he can try and get up into second, an important thing for him is he's already got the experience of overtaking other cars. So if everything goes well at the start, I think Pejic is pretty much guaranteed to win that next race. But we've still got Whitehead there with an opportunity, because Schöniger's just run away with this one. But he hasn't had to overtake anybody, so doesn't have that experience. Again, defense from Jõffert. He knows if he goes to the inside, he's got the priority. And once again, just like last lap, and Whitehead almost went into that tire bundle. And while in real life, you go into that tire bundle and push it away, here, that tire bundle is an immovable object. And this car is definitely a stoppable force, so it's always going to be tire barrier winning against the car.
Jõffert holding on strong. Jõffert is famous for great defensive drive, sometimes being maybe a little too aggressive, but there's a big prize on the table, so you wouldn't expect a driver who's battling for it to be very polite or just give that place away easily. So even though Whitehead looks to be a little bit faster, 3 drivers clip the barriers. Jõffert is not gonna be an easy thing to move off the racetrack for Whitehead. Oh, so late on the brake for Whitehead, and there's a mistake. Will he hold on to the lead side by side onto the turnaround?
Oh no! Oh no! I thought he was gonna push him into the wall. That would have been a chance for Eičinas, but Whitehead cut the track. He went across. Was that Whitehead who went across?
Yep, it was Whitehead. It was Whitehead.
He went across the chicane. So if I was, well, he has given the place back up. So he went across the chicane, and that's how he gained that position. He was lucky not to get launched in the air, like what happened to Pejic. But again, we go back to this battle. I thought that these two are going to push each other into that wall, get stuck. And that would have been Eičinas getting that position. We've seen cars in real life get pushed into that wall and have to find reverse gear. But Jõffert still holding on, and with 3 minutes to go, he's here in a very, very good position.
Oh yes, and one thing I'm already excited about is the second race. I'm trying to calculate the points in my head, and that's gonna be a very interesting situation. Schöniger will have a lot of work to do in race 2, and we can already see how difficult it is to make a move, even though Whitehead is much faster, well, a little bit faster, well, slightly faster than Jõffert. It's really difficult to make that move. So imagine if after the race start, our current leader will stay in P5, he'll have a really huge task ahead of him in race 2 to gain at least 1 spot. Jõffert finishing second, he'll get 30 points, and he'll end up 10 points behind Schöniger. So I think the final race will see Schöniger and Jõffert in a battle for the overall win.
Yep, most likely we'll see that. But Schöniger already 17 up in front. Is it 2 or 3 to go, actually? It might still be 3 to go, just how far away Schöniger is. Yep, he'll cross the line now, I think, to go 2 to go.
Yeah, Pejic setting the fastest lap, and look, he's only 13 seconds behind now, behind this battle. If we'd had a longer race, he would definitely catch up with this back. Now there's nothing he can do, just still keep his hopes alive and cheer for Whitehead to get a little bit closer on Jõffert, figure out some sort of a move and hope for some nasty things to happen on the streets of Palanga. 2 to go, as Gustas mentioned. So there's still hopes for drivers. Oh, Jõffert.
Here comes Whitehead. Jõffert went wide and he didn't have enough time to close the door. Whitehead up into second spot with just 2 laps to go. He's going to have to hold on just in this hairpin, I think, and that should be it. He's definitely got the pace over these two. And Luke Whitehead, a nice recovery drive. It took 20 minutes to go from 4th to 2nd, but that's how difficult it is to overtake on this circuit here. And all he needs to do is just keep it clean. He's definitely got the pace over these 2 cars. And Eičinas now down into 4th. He'll be starting up in 2nd for race number 2. Final lap of the race for your race leader, Dennis Schöniger, has started his final lap. And he'll be coming out of the hairpin.
Yep, and a couple of corners to go for Schöniger to try and get the... Well, not try and get the win. He will get the win of the first race.
Marko Pejic, another fastest lap of the race, 1:05.0. So what could have been for him, as he's really closed up the gap. He's put it under 10 seconds now, but it's not going to be enough. Dennis Schöniger, and this is the drive right now, a dominant drive. Wins race 1 by 20 seconds, almost 20, an incredible result. Luke Whitehead just needs to hold on through 2 more corners. Just that final chicane to go for him. He's gonna end up in 2nd, started 3rd, finishes 2nd, but what a story for his race it was. Luke Whitehead 2nd, then comes Silver Jõffert, then Dominykas Eičinas and Marko Pejic. Well, from pole to 5th, and he's going to be starting on pole for race 2, another fastest lap of the race as he crosses the line. And I think we should have an interview with him incoming. But what a unfortunate run, what an unfortunate result for him.
Yep, and we can see Page on our screens. The driver that started from pole had this final virtual race. Do calculations have at least a small chance for him? I think no. I think that's it for Page.
No, I don't think so. I think he'd need a DQ from Schöniger to...
Which I don't think is
gonna
happen.
Super likely.
Is gonna happen.
Super likely. You'd have to try something really, really incredible.
Yeah, let's make a
DQ.
Yep, let's make a short break and let our drivers rest. And maybe we'll have a chance to have a word with Marko Pejic after that.
Strange sound from your car again? There is a way to solve this issue. But when you need a smarter solution, buy from OVOKO. Choose from millions of used car parts, save your money and fix your car the smart way.
Geras metas iššokti į naujus batus. Pasimatuok geriausius pasiūlymus namams. TOPO centras.
could have done. But yeah, then just had, I think, contact into the chicane, and that just caused, yeah, the crash. And then I needed to, yeah, I was last and just did some laps. I think now with the points, I'm out of the equation, unfortunately for me, which is sad because the pace was there to win the race and then do my best into the second race. But now I'll just, yeah, try to win the second race and, yeah, go away with at least a win. But
Remember, it is another 20 minutes. And again, a difficult track to overtake on. So, while
break, and we'll be back with the race 2.
Geras metas iššokti į naujus batus. Pasimatuok geriausius pasiūlymus namams. Topo centras.
Okay, welcome back to the second race. It looks like we did have a couple of issues with the quality of the stream. Hopefully everything goes back to normal. And we will have fun looking at race 2 that will start after 30 seconds.
Yep, so the final event of A Dream to Drive 2026. All of those qualifying laps, pre-qualifying laps, all of those quarterfinals, then semifinals, then everything they did at the Porsche Ring last weekend, it all comes down to this. 5 drivers can take the crown, and there will only be one that comes back to this track, but in real life, in 1 month's time, to race for real. Here we go. It's a decent start from Pejic, and it's good enough to lead, but Eičinas, I think a big push there on the outside.
Oh, there's gonna be a mess. There's gonna be a mess.
2 wide, 3 wide, jumps over. Oh, and a crash, still a crash. So who's there? Schöniger. Schöniger has had an incident. So it's Pejic, Eičinas, Jõffert, Whitehead, Schöniger, your top 5. And side by side, Whitehead and Jõffert. Whitehead trying to come through. He does, and Jõffert down into 4th. Now, this is an opportunity for Whitehead to get some positions. Pejic, he's held on to the lead, and he's going to say bye-bye to everyone, just as Schöniger did in race 1.
Oh man, can you imagine a win that will hurt so badly for Pejic? He was the fastest driver in race 1. He should get a win easily. Eičinas is currently 2nd. Eičinas was the slowest car in race 1, and so that's he'll still act. He'll act as a buffer again for Pejic. And even though Pejic will win, or should win, the second race, that's still gonna hurt so much for the driver, as Schöniger now is in the same position where Pejic was. They should have identical points if they finish this race like this. Pejic 1st and Schöniger 2nd, and that's gonna be, that should be 11 points difference between Schöniger and Pejic. Now, what about Jõffert? He had the most points coming into this one. Remember, the real tests sum up with the virtual races, so these drivers didn't start on 0 points this afternoon, and that's why we have to calculate them.
Big opportunity for Whitehead to move forward here. Pejic he's holding on there at the front. He got 10 points for race 1. He'll get 50 if he can win. And Whitehead, if he gets 30 and 30, he'd be at 60, so same amount of points, and that would still go the way of Schöniger.
Yep. So let's wait a little bit. I think we'll figure this out in a couple of moments, and we will have the easier part to calculate the points, not bring digits out of our heads. And let's enjoy the 17 remaining minutes of this race. Remember, Schöniger is 5th. He's 13 seconds behind Jõffert, but he had an enormous advantage in race 1. I think he'll be on the back of Jõffert by the end of the race, especially if Whitehead and Eičinas will come into a battle. These cars, these 3 cars should come a little bit closer together, though Eičinas was very friendly in race 1 and he didn't defend so badly his position in race 1 against Whitehead. He's now running 2nd. He came as the last participant into this event. He collected 43 points in the real tests, and that's 33 points less than what Jõffert had. So he basically came into this race just for excitement, just for experience. He already had 0 chances of winning this. But
and that's not a bad reason to come back. Tadas Juknevičius couldn't show up for this one, even if he was coming in 2nd. And I think he would have had a very, very good opportunity around here. Pejic, unsurprisingly, fastest lap of the race. This is more a question now about Whitehead. Can he move forward? And how quickly can he move forward? And can he try and catch Pejic? If Pejic stays in the lead, this is going the way of Schöniger.
Okay. Yep. Calculations are in. What about Jõffert if he'll finish 2nd, for example, in this race? Would he have a chance? I think they would be tight on points. They would have... if Schöniger finishes 5th and Jõffert 2nd, they would be there would be they would have same points.
That would be a tie, and then it would go the way of Jõffert because he had the most points in the race car part of the championship. Jõffert's got a long way to go if he wants to finish 2nd here. And the other thing is, Schöniger needs to finish 5th.
Yep, and Schöniger is gaining on these cars, especially on Jõffert. Jõffert is unable to keep up with Eičinas and Whitehead so far. He's 1.6 seconds behind Whitehead, who is now figuring out things for himself. I think Whitehead has 0 chance of winning this. Yeah, Whitehead should win this race.
Yeah, we would need to win the race, and that is an issue here. And Pejic has pretty much will decide who wins this championship. If he stays in the lead, he'll give that position to Schöniger. If he thinks of dropping back, he'd give the position to Whitehead or Jõffert. Schöniger has something happened to him again. I saw the gap back down to 8 seconds, and look at that, last lap 107 it was. So yeah, look at that, he lost some time, and this is not the same driver that we saw run laps on everyone in race 1. He was untouchable. Now, he's making a couple of mistakes. I'm sure he knows that as long as Page is in the lead, he is pretty much guaranteed to win. But this is looking difficult for him, and looking difficult for anybody else to actually leapfrog him in the overall championship. And this is how important that second place would have been for Jõffert in race 1. If he would have finished second, there would have been a much smaller, only a 10-point gap. Would have been Jõffert would have still been in with a shot. Whitehead trying to get through, and a big jump over the curb for Eičinas, who runs a little bit wide, but still no way through for Whitehead. He's stuck behind. And Jõffert, I think what he's mainly hoping for is these two to have contact, but not enough contact to drop behind Schöniger.
Yep. Again, same scenario, but what is the most interesting part for me is that Jõffert is unable to keep up with Eičinas and Whitehead. Pace suddenly kind of changed in race 2. Schöniger having issues, Jõffert having issues, doesn't find the needed pace. Let's compare the speed of Jõffert and Eičinas. So at some laps, Jõffert was slightly faster. Now he lost 0.6. Schöniger back on pace as Whitehead comes out of the corner, very close to Eičinas. Yep. And we'll try to find a spot on the track to maybe repeat the successful move on Eičinas he did in race 1. I'm not sure of how fired up he is in this second race. He finished second in the first one. He can have the chance to repeat that.
Oh, very sideways from Eičinas. There, he was sideways the whole corner pretty much, at least on entry. That's why Whitehead caught up to him so much. Still can't get through, incredibly. Even with the pace difference that he clearly has, he really can't do anything until Eičinas touches a wall, or does that and leaves some space open at the hairpin, but still, no can do. Eičinas holds on to second. Now, Dennis Schöniger, fastest lap of the race for him. Still in last position, so a very similar situation. A very fast driver is running away at the front, not running away as much as Schöniger did though in race 1, and a very fast driver at the back of the field, setting fastest laps of the race after a very bad start.
Page doesn't seem to have such a pace advantage here in the second race what Schöniger had, so maybe it was a Jõffert issue.
No, I think he's running slower, actually. If you look at the lap times, Page is running slower, so I think he's... Oh, yeah, he's definitely running much slower. I think he's just managing the pace. It doesn't make any difference if he's going 105 lows or 105 highs if the cars behind are doing 106 mids.
Yeah,
there's no point in taking that risk. He's driving a pretty calculated and smart race here.
Yeah.
That's what he did in the semi-final as well on ACC. He ran a very smart race where he didn't take any unnecessary risks. That's what he's doing here. He's got a 4.3 second gap, so he's got a buffer if there's any small lockup or small mistake, but he's got enough pace in hand if he needs to turn it up at the end. He's got that opportunity. Into the chicane they come. And under 8 minutes to go now.
I wonder what goes through of each driver's mind now when completing these laps. Schöniger gaining on Jõffert. He doesn't need to overtake Jõffert. He currently would take the champion's crown as it stands if the final results will be same that we have now. He's fast, he's pushing. I don't think there will be enough time for him to catch up with Jõffert and just driving calmly. But that's the end. That's it. It's really a huge shame that we have only 5 cars on the racetrack. Juknevičius had a really good chance. It did have really good chances before this part of the finals. It's a big shame he couldn't be here for the final race. He did attend the real tests. He ended up second. He won the karting discipline. He was the fastest driver with a race kart. Oh, Whitehead over the curb, nothing too much. And Tadas, well, he lost by not attending here this race. We would have had a totally different view if Tadas would race here. But it is what it is, and well, it's a big price on the table, so that's definitely a huge shame for the driver. But it looks like we will have a driver from Germany participating in the real Palanga event this year that will take place in a little bit more than 1 month. Actually, 1 month. In 1 month's time, the real race will take place here, where Schöniger will get himself in exactly the same car that we have here running on the virtual streets of Palanga. It's just gonna have a slightly different view. The barriers will be real. The tires will be real. Actually, it will not be the tires on the chicanes.
Well, it will be easier with the chicanes because he can just push them out of the way. And you don't go flipping off the circuit. So actually in a better position if he does indeed touch those tire barriers. Well, not tire barriers, tire stacks. Eičinas, though, he's been doing a great job this whole race. And it's not really like he's been defending.
Yeah, but it looks like his pace
has been driving his own race. He's having a decent enough pace where Whitehead can't really find a way through. And actually starting to catch up to Pejic as well. Maybe not.
Whitehead into the barriers. And with
he's trying to push hard. He's trying to find that way through.
Yep. So 1.2 seconds gap now. Let's take a look at how fast Whitehead will be able to gain on Eičinas, and that's going to be the pace difference between these two drivers. If he'll have the pace, actually, he's still falling behind slightly Eičinas. So great performance by the driver from Lithuania, again clipping the curb, sending the car flying into the air. It's not the fastest way around the chicanes, but sometimes you clip those curbs.
Yep, and the car bounces up and down and then gets back on its wheels, so he's definitely catching up. This track, it's weird with the gaps sometimes on Assetto Corsa, so sometimes they keep going up and down for no reason. But Pejic still 4 seconds in front, and look at that, he's not even touching the curbs in the chicanes. He's doing it very smartly. And Schöniger, look at that, 2.7 back from Jõffert now. So he's really closed up. He's been pumping in the laps, going fast, and very fast last time round. 5:1:01. So he's now turned up the heat. but his 5th place will still be enough to win here today. Unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, but I don't think that something too crazy will happen.
We should have 3 to go. It is. So 3 more laps to go here at Palanga.
And we basically can call it the day now, because Schöniger has already completed 75% of the distance. So even if somehow the simulator would disappear from Topo Centras, where Dennis Schöniger is driving.
The problem is, the only thing is, if Eičinas and Whitehead drop behind Jõffert, but not behind Schöniger, that would give Jõffert the win. So that's the only thing that can still happen.
Yep. Okay. So small possibility is still there.
So that's why he's not parking the car just yet. But Schöniger has gotten close enough to Jõffert. I think that this scenario is very, very difficult to happen. 2 more laps to go. And 0.5 is the gap between Whitehead and Eičinas. 1.3 is Schöniger to Jõffert. Pejic leads at the front.
2 laps, yep. 2 laps to go. Pejic, yeah, well, he's just calmly driving his car.
106.1, so he's running a second slower than what he was doing in the first race. But that is a very, very smart way to do it. It doesn't matter for him if he's 20 seconds up the road. He's not getting more points. And unfortunately for him, the points that he's gonna get are just not enough to beat out this man on your screens right now, who won race 1, starting from 2nd after Pejic stalled on the grid. He's on the back of Silver Jõffert, who I'm sure is not gonna let him through, but out of principle only, and not really because that's gonna change anything. Finishing 2nd in the overall championship gives you nothing here. It's all about the win. Here we go. Final lap of Dream to Drive 2026. And really, that battle up in front for the podium. And what does Jõffert do? He's going to defend the inside, but
Nice catch.
Well, you don't need to do that, Dennis, but a nice catch, definitely. And I think that battle here is done. I don't think Schöniger is going to really try anything, because he knows this is going to be enough for him. As this is Marko Pejic round the, well, final time round the circuit. He's going to go down the viaduct and into that final chicane. And a brilliant drive from him, a very, very smart way to race. And I hope he's going to be back for the next edition of Dream to Drive, because he's been one of the standouts here. But the biggest standout will be Dennis Schöniger, who's going to come round the final turn. 2026 Dream to Drive champion. Hook it. Dennis Schöniger takes the win, and he's gonna go race in a Porsche Cup car in exactly 1 month's time. And I'm sure we'll have an interview with him shortly. I can see his camera. He's emotional, very, very emotional, as he's taken the win. He did enough here in Dream to Drive 2026. Dennis Schöniger wins it, and well, congrats to everyone who participated, not only here in the finals, but all throughout the last month and a half or so. A lot of great drivers who, some of them unluckily had to drop out, but there's only one winner at the end. This year, it goes to Dennis Schöniger. And I think we've actually got him live. Well, what an incredible race for you, Dennis. We're live on the Dream to Drive channels. It is
Stark, durch die ganze Competition Es war jedes Mal. Warte. Ich kann das Headset nicht ab. Warte, ich muss kurz.
We heard the natural language of Dennis Schöniger and the real emotions that are going through the head of the driver. I think he's still not aware exactly that we are trying to get an interview from him, but he'll be ready soon. I
think
hope
he can hear us now. So Dennis, what an incredible
Oh
race
my
for
God.
you. I won! It looked, well, you took race 1, and that was really what sealed the deal for you. What was going through your mind when you had that incident down at the first chicane in race 2?
Can you hear us, Dennis?
I think so. We're just having some small issues.
Yeah, I think we can hear him, but I'm not sure if he can hear us.
Yep. But you heard his emotions, and doesn't look like we've got anybody coming in to help. So you heard his emotions. I'm sure you'll see an interview with him on the Dream to Drive social media channels very, very soon. But we've got the boss here, Tadas Juknevičius, trying to get a fix for us to have live, and now see if that does happen here.
We cannot send you the view of Dennis Schöniger over, sadly, but we are waiting for the voice of the man, the winner of the Dream to Drive 2026. I think we are through now.
I can hear you now, yes.
He's waving to us. And Dennis, what an incredible event all the way through. And what was going through your mind when you had that incident down at turn 1 here in race 2?
I mean, there was just, I don't know, there was too much going on through my head. I was way too much focused on the points than rather the driving. But I didn't know, I can't grasp what has happened. I mean, this is incredible. This is the chance everyone in sim racing wants. And it's just a great competition. It's so much fun throughout the real life part, the sim part. The organizers were great. Thanks to them. Thanks to everyone who made this possible. There was just so much going on through my head. I can't even tell you.
Did you know the points calculation going into the race? Did you know that essentially Marko kind of guaranteed your win by him starting on pole and getting through here in race 2?
I mean, I was hoping that Marko can just cruise it home, then because in my head this would be the biggest chance for me. I didn't know confirmed, because obviously you want to wait till it's confirmed, till you know, yes, this is how it works, this is how it is. But I was just way too much focused on the points.
So I guess tonight you're buying Marko a beer.
I think I will, yes.
Did you know each other before this event, or you got to know each other only in the finals?
Marko and me raced each other for now 3 years. We raced each other in many competitions across many platforms. We knew each other. We grew a bit closer throughout this competition, I think. Also with the other guys, it was great to get to know everyone behind this, everyone involved. But it was just phenomenal.
Coming back to not the sim racing side, but what you were doing at the Porsche Ring a week ago, which part, I guess, of the competition was most difficult to you, or something that was, let's say, least natural, where you had the most difficulty?
Probably the karting. I have not done any karting when I was a kid. There was no competitive karting for me. Obviously, every now and then my dad took me to drive some rental kart, but that was it. I bought a kart for myself just to have some fun a couple of weeks ago. So I think the karting was the one where I felt least comfortable. So I just tried to go with my instinct, try to drive give it my all, give it my best. And I think I was pretty consistent throughout the competition. Never never made enough effort to win one of the competitions or disciplines, but I gave it my all.
Well, yep, you were the most, I would probably say the most consistent all the way through. Never, except now in the sim racing part, winning, but never really winning, but always up there towards the front. And I guess that's what got you the win. Well, congratulations, and go and enjoy it tonight, and then I guess it's time to start preparing for your race at Palanga at this track. Just know that those tire barriers are not concrete like here. You can push them away quite easily.
You still don't want to do that, I think.
Depends how fast you go. But that was your Dream to Drive 2026 champion, Dennis Schöniger. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is the end of our broadcast here from Dream to Drive 2026. Well, I'm sure everybody watching will want to know, how do I participate myself? And well, that's going to come next year. I guess with a new season of Dream to Drive esports, hopefully. And to hone your skills for that and be prepared for that, head on over worldsimseries.com and sign up for free. Thank you to the partners as well, TOPO Centras and OVOKO. They were the main partners of our top two groups, and Monster Energy as well for providing the energy to everyone out on track and in the broadcast booth and in the production of the whole event. So to follow how Dennis does, it's the social media channels of Dream to Drive and World Sim Series. You'll see how he does in a real Porsche Cup car. His Dream to Drive is complete. Any final words, Laurinas, from you?
Yeah, I guess thanks for everyone who has followed up with this amazing championship, and that's only the beginning, especially for one driver from Germany. Dennis Schöniger will hit the streets as... It sounds so unrealistic, but it's definitely gonna happen in 1 month's time, so... Yeah, just follow up further with how it's gonna evolve for Dennis. I actually cannot wait to see how he'll perform on the streets of Palanga. And yep, that's it. So this is the end for our stream, but only the beginning for Dennis Schöniger. Hope every one of you enjoyed this, and stay with the Dream to Drive social media channels. You'll get plenty of exciting action from the real preparation, I guess, from what's going to happen with Dennis in 1 month's time.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
Strange sound from your car again? There is a way to solve this issue. But when you need a smarter solution, buy from OVOKO. Choose from millions of used car parts, save your money and fix your car the smart way.
Geras metas iššokti į naujus batus. Pasimatuok geriausius pasiūlymus namams.